So welcome to this Pilates fundamentals introduction. What I want to do here is just introduce you to how to get connected to your body and to your center, and just to begin to introduce some of the most fundamental exercises. So if you were to come along to an introductory course with me or beginner's class, this is where we would start. So all you need is your exercise mat and loose comfy clothing and an open mind. So we always start with coming onto our mat with our feet together, and imagine that you've got a piece of string coming out of your head, so you're nice and tall. Bring your arms down by your sides, and we start by taking the heels apart and the toes follow, and your feet, knees and hips are now in alignment. Always want to be soft through the knees so we don't lock those knees out. Wriggle out through the toes so you're not gripping the mat with your feet, and just think about the weight distribution between each foot. We want to make sure that weight is distributed evenly, and also under the ball of the big toe, little toe and the heel, so you're really firmly grounded here and nice and evenly spread between those feet. Then we want to start thinking about drawing a line of energy up from the inside arch of the foot up through the inner thigh and up into the pelvic floor. Now the pelvic floor is really critical in Pilates, and sometimes people don't really understand what that means when we say lift the pelvic floor. So what we're really talking about is that internal lifting sensation where you feel as though you're stopping yourself going to the loo. So just connect that pelvic floor, and then we're going to bring our focus to where our pelvis is. And here we really want to think about getting that pelvis in the upright position. So we always start by tilting the pelvis forwards and backwards, thinking of it as a bucket, feeling through your range of movement. Might feel a bit stiff and clunky if you haven't done this movement before. And then you gradually reduce that movement until you find your central neutral point. And we're looking roughly for the hip bones and the pubic bone to be nice and level. So your pelvic floor is lifted, your pelvis is now level, and we can start to connect the abdominal muscles. Think of drawing them in towards the center. Think of zipping up pubic bone to your belly button, and we're starting to get a really strong connection here now. Next, we want to bring the attention to the back of the pelvis. So imagine your sit bones, imagine a line of energy drawing down from your sit bones to your heels. And here you'll find that the bottom of your glutes start to switch on, and what we've got then is this energy drawing down at the back and zipping up at the front, and we're really starting to get that strong connection built. And then we bring the attention to the rib cage. The rib cage is often flared out, the back's often arched, and this isn't a good position for your back. You put a lot of strain here, and we lose the benefit and the strength from the abdominals here. So just bring that rib cage down. Think of it as putting the lid on this cylinder of muscles that you've just been connecting. And then the shoulders form a big part of connecting with that center. We want the shoulders to be drawing back and down. Think about the shoulder blades, the tips of the shoulder blades drawing down the back of the rib cage towards your back pockets. And then you've got this lovely space between your shoulder and your ears, and your arms can just come and hang down by your sides. Chin gently tucked, so the back of your neck is nice and long. Now the first time you come into this position, you're probably thinking, this feels really alien, and how on earth am I going to breathe? And that's the next part. There's a particular breathing methodology with Pilates. It's called lateral thoracic breathing. So lateral means breathing into the sides of the ribs, and thoracic is this rib cage area. So once you've got that position, you'll just close your eyes, and then you'll breathe in through your nose and send that breath into the back and sides of your ribs. And you get much more lung capacity. You've got much more lung capacity here into the back and the sides of the ribs. And then as you exhale through the mouth, that rib cage draws in and down, that length continues out through the crown of the head, and we just keep thinking about that breath. Breathe in through the nose, send it into the back and sides of the ribs, exhale through the mouth. And also this is a really lovely way to bring your focus and your attention into your body. So you can let go of everything that's happened in your day beforehand, or everything that you're thinking about you've still got to do. Just bring your focus to that breath. Now we've got that position, we've got the breathing going, and the next thing we want to start thinking about is how to start bringing in some of those fundamental movements. And I'm just going to show you a couple to start with. So keeping that nice connection that we've just built, you're going to bring your arms out long in front, so your fingertips are reaching away from you, and what you'll see is my shoulders are still down. The temptation is to do this to reach the fingertips forward, but we really want to keep those shoulders drawing back and down here. We always focus on the breath, so we breathe in to prepare, and as you exhale, you're going to take fingertips on your left hand up to the ceiling, fingertips on your right hand down towards the floor. Now the key here is this shoulder blade stays drawing down, the rib cage stays drawing down, and then we breathe in, keeping those fingertips reaching away from you, and exhale, we swap. Really reaching those fingertips down to the floor and up to the ceiling. Breath in, come back through the middle, and exhale. Starting to challenge and mobilize through the shoulders and through that center. And then come and bring your arms back to the middle and bring your arms down by your sides. So that's just the most fundamental movement of really keeping that shoulder blade down, tucked into the back of the rib cage, and just starting to mobilize into the shoulders. One of the other exercises that we do is really starting to rotate into the spine and into the rib cage, but at the same time keeping these hips facing forward. And this can be a bit of a conundrum and a bit of a challenging exercise. So I like to bring my hands into a prayer position with my thumb on my breastbone and my chin just resting on my fingers, but with the head still drawing back, keeping the hips and pelvis level, facing forward. Breathe in, grow tall, exhale, rotate. Just the rib cage around the spine. See, my hips are facing forward, they haven't moved round. Breathing in, grow tall through the middle, and exhale, rotate. So we've still got that line of energy from the tailbone down towards the heels, zipping up pubic bone to belly button, and just rotating using the waist muscles here, and come back to center. One of the things to watch for with that exercise is if your hips are rotating, you'll feel it in your knee or your ankle. So just isolating the upper part of your body is really quite challenging. And then if we bring the opposite into that, so keeping the shoulders still, and we just want to rotate through into the hips, again we breathe in as we begin to move, exhale, send your left hip forward, right hip back, keeping the shoulders forward. Breath in, back to center, and exhale. This starts to mobilize into the lower part of the body, into the hips, into the pelvis. And it starts to teach your body how to isolate individual parts. Okay, we're gonna go for 2 more. And last one. Feels a bit alien, I know. And come back to center. One of the other key benefits with Pilates is how much it improves your balance, because we really work on all the little stabilizing muscles around the ankles, around the knees, in the shoulders. And what I'm going to show you now is how we start to work with the balance. So I'm just going to turn sideways on so that you can see the setup and the positioning and alignment in my body. So I've got that neutral spine, that drawing in of the abdominals, and the rib cage is down, the shoulders are drawing back and down, fingertips reaching towards the floor. Now really think about lifting that pelvic floor, switching on your glute muscles around your bum. Take a breath in here, and as we exhale, we're just going to push our heels off the floor. Just raising up onto the toes, breathing in to lower back down. We're minimizing any momentum of swinging forwards and back. Breath in to prepare, exhale, float up onto the toes. Breath in to lower the heels back down. Gonna go for 2 more, and then we're gonna add something else in. And exhale. And inhale, last one. Checking I'm getting my counting right. Now on this one, we're gonna start to add a wall slide. So what I mean by that, as you exhale, you bend into the knees, but imagine you've got a wall behind you, so nothing else moves. The knees are tracking with the 2nd, 3rd and 4th toes. The tailbone is drawing down, you're zipping up in the front. Your heels stay connected to the mat. We're getting a stretch through the calves here, but we're challenging the center, and then we stand up. Breathe in, exhale, coming up onto the toes, keeping that balance. Breathe in, roll back down through the heels. Exhale, slide down that imaginary wall, keeping the chin tucked, back of the neck long. Breath into standing. You should be really feeling it in your bum here, because we're really working with the glutes. And exhale, we're gonna go for 1 more. Starting to mobilize into the ankles and the knees. And last one. Roll back down. Exhale, bend into the knees. Feel that stretch in the calves. And come back to standing. And then just give your legs a little shake. So now we're just going to have a look at how we can open out across the fronts of the shoulders and into the collarbones, and really start to work with activating all these little muscles around the shoulder blades. So shoulders back and down, elbows tucked in at the waist, and the palms are facing up. We've still got the rest of the center connection, pelvic floor connection as well. Breathe in, grow tall, and as you exhale, you just rotate or bring your arms out to the side, but you really want to keep your elbows tucked in. And what you'll feel is this opening out across the collarbones. Your shoulder blades start to squeeze in together, as if you're trying to hold a pencil between your shoulder blades, but you're not letting this rib cage flare out. And you breathe in and you return back to the center. And exhale. Keep those shoulder blades down. Shoulder blades pulling together. Don't let that rib cage flare. Use your center connection. And breathing in. We're going to go for 2 more. So these kind of movements really are fundamental, but really have quite a profound impact on starting to improve your posture and really help you reconnect with your body. Okay, and come back to center. And release your arms. Just give the shoulders a roll. So that initial setup and those fundamental movements was just a teeny tiny taster of what we can potentially cover in classes and one-to-ones. I'd love it if you got in touch to find out more. You can visit my website, which is vitalitynaturally.co.uk. You can also find me on Facebook at Vitality Naturally Life, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.